Okay, so this is a new Model S. It's only got 2,000 miles on it. It's got the brand new autopilot computer, the full self-driving computer 4, FSD 4. So what I'm about to do now is compare this to what I've been able to experience in my Tesla, which has autopilot 1, which does not do full self-driving. It's basically, it basically can do what's called lane keep and lane assist and driver assist, but it is not full self-driving. So we'll see what this latest full self-driving package can do. I am going to put in my address. I'm going to navigate to my home. It's 34 miles away. And I'm going to start full self-driving from the parking lot. Alrighty, so we'll see. I'm going to tap the brake, and here we go. The car's driving on its own.
Now turn right onto Democracy Drive. In 500 feet, turn right onto Parkwood Boulevard. Now turn right onto Parkwood Boulevard. In 500 feet, turn right onto West Spring Creek Parkway. Now turn right onto West Spring Creek Parkway. In 500 feet, turn left onto Dallas Parkway. Now turn left onto Dallas Parkway. In 500 feet, take the Dallas North Tollway South ramp on the left. Now take the Dallas North Tollway South ramp on the left.
must say at this point, I'm super impressed with how smoothly this FSD software is driving. From the time I exited the parking lot to actually get on the tollway, I mean, it drove exactly as a human would drive, but much smoother. The stops were smooth. The takeoffs were smooth. Getting on the highway was a smooth transition. There was nothing herky-jerky about it.
Keep left to stay on Dallas North Tollway South.
It's driving with confidence, like it knows exactly what it wants to do. It's switching lanes, stopping at stoplights, using the blinkers and the flashers, and it's getting into open spaces where you would want to go if you were driving as a human. It's not following too closely or not laying back too far. It's going a little bit above the speed limit, so the speed limit's 70, and the software is set to go just a little bit above the speed limit to go along with the flow of traffic, so it's not impeding anyone else's progress. And I'll tell you what, this is impressive.
Dallas North Tollway South.
And I guess what's most impressive about it to me is that it's doing this without LiDAR. If you are aware of LiDAR and what LiDAR is, it's a kind of an advanced radar system that can see a lot of what obstacles are out there in the terrain, and it's very, very expensive to run all the LiDAR equipment on the cameras. And that's the one difference between Tesla and Waymo. Waymo's full self-driving applications are using $200,000 worth of cameras per vehicle, and that's just not going to scale long term. In addition to that, the LiDAR systems that Waymo uses have to operate in a predefined territory that's already been mapped and programmed into the system. So in effect, it's like driving on a Hot Wheels track. You can only drive on certain roads that have been pre-mapped, and the LiDAR keeps them from hitting things that are not on the map. Whereas the Tesla system is using vision and cameras only, and Tesla's kind of modeling what they do after how humans drive. So if you think about it, we don't drive with any type of radar. Humans are using simply their eyes and their brain to interpret what's going on in the surroundings and make driving decisions based on that. And that's how Tesla is approaching this. It's using a combination of, I think there's maybe 8 cameras in the system now. A camera in the front, 2 cameras on the side, 2 cameras in the back, a camera on the inside. I think there's 8 cameras total. And they're no longer using any type of radar. So the computer is looking at all of the cameras simultaneously and making the best driving decisions based on how it's been trained through the AI. And if you see here on the heads up screen, you'll see that blue line in the center is where the computer is telling you as the passenger where it intends to go. And it's following that line, so you can see or get a glimpse of what this is supposed to look like or where it's supposed to go. So if you disagree with it, you can react to it before it gets there. And you'll see here, it just passed the car behind me because the computer wanted to speed up to 76 miles an hour to stay with the flow of traffic. And it executed a perfect pass. It moved over to the left lane, passed the vehicle, and then got back into the center, more of a center lane. And my goodness, this thing is driving so smoothly. Now we got quite a ways to go. We're still 33 minutes from where I live. But we've already gone probably about 10 miles, 12 miles, and I have not had to have any interventions at all. There's a fair amount of traffic on the road. I was a little bit concerned about that when I first started, because I've never had FSD engaged on a highway. Whenever I have had a loaner vehicle and FSD was engaged, it was actually, in a neighborhood or more of a, kind of a side street setting. This is the first time I've ever let it engage and take me on highway driving, and this is incredible. As a Tesla shareholder and a stockholder since 2017, one of the inflection points I've been waiting for is for when they get approval to enable their robo-taxi fleet and perform full self-driving nationwide, because I really feel and I understand Tesla's value add if they can enable a fleet of robo-taxis that could drive you anywhere without having to pre-map the entire area and without the expensive LiDAR cameras. If they can turn this software on and have this software run in millions of cars around the United States and other locations like China, where they're actually trialing FSD right now, it's going to disrupt transportation significantly, because instead of paying $1 per mile or $1.20 per mile to catch an Uber or a Lyft, Tesla can enable FSD and charge 40 cents a mile, 30 cents a mile, and at that point it's almost not worth even having a car, because if you can summon a Tesla vehicle to come pick you up and take you somewhere for 30 cents a mile, that's cheaper than maintaining a car, buying a car, paying for a car, maintaining a car, paying insurance on a car, and doing all of those things. You could just get a vehicle and hail it like a cab whenever you wanted to through the Tesla app. So this is pretty remarkable. They're a lot further along as far as getting these cars ready to drive in general traffic than most people believe or most people think. If you've never ridden in a Tesla and had this full self-driving employed and ready to and trial this out, I highly suggest you try this. This is some really cool tech. This is cutting edge AI. We talk about ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and some of the other AI that's out there as far as generative AI is concerned. This is along that same vein, and this is actually just as impressive as some of that other artificial intelligence that's out there, because basically what this is a technology that can be applied to a lot of different use cases, because what you're seeing here is that you have basically a robot on wheels. The robot is looking at 8 different cameras, or the robot is employing 8 different cameras as eyes, and is making intelligent decisions on the fly about what it should do next based on what it sees and how it interprets the world around it. And that's really what we do when we're using our eyes. We're reacting to what we see. And I cannot stress how important that is, or how revolutionary that is. The way Tesla is training their software, they're not using, traditional computer code where, it's a lot of decision statements. If then do this. If this, then do that. It's not doing that. What it's using AI to train the computer to say, hey, this is how humans drive. Here's tons and tons and tons of video of what good driving decisions look like. We're not going to tell you how to drive. We're just going to show you, trillions of examples of what good driving is in every situation that we could, reasonably expect. And then we want you, the computer, to drive like a human, only better, because you have 8 cameras, so you can see what's going on to the sides of you, to the front of you, and behind you simultaneously, and make the best driving decision based on that in an instant. And if you see here, there's construction going on this road, and there's a slowdown here, and the car is handling this perfectly. It's not trying to get over into the lane where the cones are and the construction are. Even though that lane is unoccupied, it recognizes that lane is under construction and it's not supposed to be there, even though there's nothing that has explicitly programmed to say don't do that. It's using its artificial intelligence to understand that's not where I'm supposed to go. So if you look at the heads up display, it's telling you, or it's showing me, hey, this is where it's heading, and there's nothing saying, hey, I need to go to the other lane to the right. So it's staying in this lane and it's following with the flow of traffic. This is impressive. I'm super impressed with this. And there's the construction crew, and you see it's on the heads-up display. You can see the construction crew there. Now I'm going to see here, once this construction clears here in just about 100 yards, if it's going to utilize that lane again. I'm just cleaning the lens on the camera. The lens just look like they're a little bit dirty, dusty. Sorry. Going to execute a lane change here because the car in front of me is going too slowly. And so it's going to execute a pass. It's going to pass this red Murano here and probably get back into the center lane. Let's see what the heads up says it's going to do. Yep, it's going to get back into the center lane now that it's executed that pass. Yep, there we go. This is freaking impressive. One of the other things I'd like to note here is that this is FSD, right? Full self-driving. A lot of people in the media have erroneously called full self-driving autonomous driving, and that's not what it is. Full self-driving means a car is fully driving itself. It's not autonomous. Autonomous driving is where the car can drive unsupervised. Full self-driving is supervised full self-driving. So it's driving itself, but I'm actually still supervising it, or I'm considered to be supervising it, because I am watching the road, I am watching the car, I'm watching the decisions that it's going to make, and I'm ready to take over in an instant if the car does something that I think is unsafe. Thus far, it hasn't done anything I thought was unsafe, not even close to being unsafe. So, even though I'm filming here, I have my hand at the ready. I have my foot at the ready to hit the brake. My hands are at the ready to hit the brake. But thus far, I feel very calm. I'm comfortable. I don't feel unsure about what the car is going to do, because the car, from the time it pulled out of the parking lot, everything that it has done, it did it in a way that a normal human driver would do it when they're sure of where they're going and what they're doing. And honestly, it feels like it's been making all of the right decisions. Like right now, I was just about to say it'll probably execute a pass here because the car in front of us is going less than the speed of traffic. So it passed that first car, and instead of getting over behind this car and trying to execute a second pass, it passed both of those cars, and now it's going to get back into the center lane. Unbelievable. This is unreal. This technology is super cool. I'm really curious here. In about a mile and a half, we're going to come to some highway interchanges and go through downtown Dallas. Those interchanges can be quite complicated for a new driver, for somebody that has not driven through downtown before. And since this is not a pre-mapped LiDAR type system like Waymo uses, the car is going to have to make decisions on how to navigate from the North Dallas Tollway heading south through downtown. For those of you who are from Dallas or driven through Dallas, I'm going North Dallas Tollway south. I'm passing the Oak Lawn exit now, and there's an interchange that where 45, 35, the North Dallas Tollway and a bunch of other streets meet here in just a moment. And the car's got to execute some lane changes to get ready for this interchange between the North Dallas Tollway and 35 South. So we'll see how it does. Now, this exit here, it is slowing down the way I would imagine to get on this exit. Like, I would take this a little bit slower than the car is going now, but it is slowing aggressively. So, and it's actually pretty smooth, a pretty smooth execution of a slowdown. It went from 73 miles down to 33 miles in a way that it didn't, kind of toss me forward in the seat. So it exited the ramp from North Dallas Tollway onto 35 well. And we'll see how it gets on 35.
In 1,000 feet, take the ramp on the right toward Interstate 35E South.
Okay. Now see, this is
take the ramp on the right toward Interstate 35E South.
Now see, this is a weird interchange, because if you go left, you're headed 45.
500 feet, take the Interstate 35E South ramp on the left.
It did take the right exit, which it's supposed to do, which basically exited one highway, and now it's getting right on the ramp to get onto the one we need to get on, which is 35 South. Okay, now it's got to execute a couple of lane changes to get over and out of this exit lane. Wow. This is wild. I've been a confident holder of Tesla stock for almost 10 years now. I've held a significant amount of Tesla stock since 2017, waiting on the full self-driving approvals to be had nationwide so that the company can start the robo-taxi service. This has made me an even more confident shareholder that I'm not selling any shares of Tesla. Every share that I have of Tesla right now, I'm holding. Until they get full self-driving approved and rolled out, I'm not going to sell a single share of Tesla going forward after this. Not one share. Because I can see this taking off, and this is going to 10x or 15x the value of Tesla. Tesla's already depending when you're watching this, it's probably anywhere between a $700 billion company and a $1 trillion company. This is going to make Tesla a $10 trillion company worldwide, easily, because just think if this gets approved in places like China and India, the United States, and parts of Europe. There's parts of the world where people don't want to own a car. Right? There's no parking. It's expensive. There's a lot of maintenance. There's a lot of fuel costs and things like that. Plus, the governments want to get a lot of these cars off the road because of emissions and things like that, especially in China. So if you can have a system or a service in place, much like an autonomous Uber, where people can hail rides, day or night, and confidently get into a car without a driver and have that car just escort them door to door where they need to go, that's huge. That is huge. The market for that is almost limitless. But because just think a lot of young people today don't want the hassle of driving. They don't want the hassle of owning a car. My sons are college age students now, the older two. Neither one of them have a car, and honestly, they're not obsessed with trying to own a car at this point in time anyway. They could probably get by without owning a car and the hassle of owning a car. My 19-year-old doesn't even have a full driver's license. He's still working on a learner's permit. They Uber everywhere they want to go. It's just more convenient for them. So I can see people, especially if they're living in an urban setting where they don't want to have the hassle of parking and paying thousands of dollars a month for a vehicle that they're not using 90% of the time. There's another highway interchange that's coming up here. We're on Highway 35, and it's going to exit toward what's called Highway 67, which is a minor highway here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it's going to take me down Highway 67. And it's executing these lane changes so smoothly and confidently.
In 1 mile, take the US 67 South exit on the right.
I like that the computer is actually announcing where it's going as well on the navigation system.